January 8th, 2014, I was 20 weeks pregnant, and we went to an appointment at the maternal fetal medicine doctor. And Dr. Brary came in and said, "Where's your husband?" I said, "He's at work." And he said, "I need you to call your husband. Something's wrong with the baby's heart."
We thought everything would be fine. We thought, we're just having another baby. We got one. Everything's going to be fine. You go to the doctor that day, and I'll go on to work. And
I was pretty messed up. Called Philip.
She couldn't get me on the phone because my phone was out of service, and she sat up there for an hour or so before she could get me.
Got him there. Found out that Aiden had basically half a heart. His left side of his heart didn't develop. It's called hypoplastic left heart syndrome. They told us that we would have to deliver the baby somewhere else because Shreveport can't take care of him. So I had to move down to Houston, had an apartment, lived there.
Me and my 2-year-old would travel back and forth to Houston on Friday. We'd come back on Sunday. I would work all week, take care of him here. And then Friday we was gone again.
Had Aiden May 19th, 2014. They took him immediately to the cardiovascular ICU. 4 days later, he had open heart surgery. The heart is about the size of a walnut, which is just like mind-blowing that a surgeon is operating on a baby's heart the size of a walnut. I mean, the recovery was hard. I mean, it's just, he comes from out of the womb, immediately, into the ICU, IVs placed, different lines placed. He's on a breathing machine before the surgery. We spent about 6 weeks in the hospital recovering from the Norwood, which is the first of the 3 open heart surgeries that he'll have to have. And then I stayed in an apartment in Houston for 5 months with him.
The first surgery was to keep him alive. That's basically all it was.
And I got to put my arms underneath them, barely get to hold him really before he went into surgery. The first surgery, it was rough. He was pretty sick just because of a part of his heart that wasn't formed exactly, the optimal way. There was one defect that he had that was causing fluid to build up in his lungs. So he kind of went into the surgery with a little bit of odds stacked against him. So the first several updates we got from the surgical nurse were pretty rough. I mean, it was a kick to the gut pretty much every time she came in, just kind of telling us how he was doing, on a scale of 1 to 5, how is he? And she's like, about 2.5 or 3. They finally came in and said that he had made it and it was fine. And I remember Philip and I just getting in the elevator and just crying and just hugging each other and just, honestly, I think the words out of my mouth were, "God will provide," because I was so just in shock that we had made it through the day. But the next 4 weeks he spent in the ICU, just kind of getting him to learn how to eat.
And then we had the second surgery, which that actually ties his arteries into his lungs. It goes from his lungs to his heart. He's got one pumping chamber that pumps it to his brain, and then it comes out of his brain and just goes back into his body.
And he was in the hospital about 12 days with that. And then we got to come home to the apartment for about a week, and then they released us to come home.
Everybody sees him now and they say, "Oh, he's doing great, he's done." But we have to live with every day that it's not over.
A friend of mine who her baby has the same diagnosis as Aiden, she wrote a blog recently and she said something that the cardiologist told her that HLHS means that they're incompatible with life. It's a diagnosis that's incompatible with life. There is no guarantee that, anything can happen, which, with Noah, there's no guarantee. With me, there's no guarantee. I mean, tomorrow I could fall out. But with Aiden, it's just like a probability.
When I have to talk about it, and it just kills me inside. To know one day that I may outlive my son.
He shouldn't be here. He shouldn't be here at all. And the fact that he is here is amazing. I pray that he's always here. I pray every night that I always have them. He's absolutely a miracle because he shouldn't be here. 30 years ago, he wouldn't be here. And so we're just, like I said, we pray every night that he's always here.
We never thought Aiden would be able to wrestle with Noah.
I remember sitting right over there in the living room watching my sister and Noah wrestle one night. It was right after we got diagnosed, and I was just bawling, crying, just watching it happen and just thinking, Aiden's never going to be able to do that.
I think if things keep going like they're going and God keeps blessing us, we're going to be fine.
I never want somebody to feel hopeless because of the diagnosis. There's a lot of sad stories. There's a lot of things that can happen. It's not foolproof. I want people to see Aiden and have hope. We saw a miracle at Texas Children's May 22nd, 2014. We saw it happen. I hugged the surgeon that, God provided this talent with. That's a miracle. And the fact that he's here is a miracle.